Would you sleep in a room made entirely of ice? I wouldn't, but if your answer is yes, then perhaps a night in an ice hotel is the thing for you. If you don't know what an ice hotel is, it's really just what it sounds like. A hotel made of ice. Well, ice and snow to be precise. Ice hotels emerged in the 1990s and early aughts as attractions for adventure travelers. And travelers who can afford the high price to stay in them, I might add. Due to the very nature of their construction, ice hotels can only be built in regions that experience regular sub-freezing winter temperatures, and must be reconstructed each year. The Icehotel in Jukkasjärvi, Sweden, called simply the Icehotel, was the first ever constructed, and has been in operation for over 35 years. Located 200 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle, in the village of Jukkasjärvi on the shores of the Torna River, the Icehotel started out as an art gallery called Arctic Hall, built in 1989. Constructed of ice, the gallery was part of an attempt to draw more tourists to the area during the winter, as for understandable reasons, the region wasn't exactly a travel hotspot during the long winter months. One night, there were no vacant rooms available in the small town, but some visitors to the gallery had decided they wanted to stay the night. The gallery owner, Ing Bergqvist, suggested they might sleep in the gallery, and to his surprise, they actually agreed. To keep warm in the frozen chamber, they slept in sleeping bags laid out on top of reindeer skins. Apparently, this was sufficient for them to pass a comfortable night, because otherwise the Icehotel probably never would have happened. In the past 35 plus years, the Icehotel has grown to be the largest ice hotel in the world. At over 6,000 square meters in area, the hotel is constructed from blocks of ice cut from the Torna River, which lies conveniently nearby. The ice is harvested in March and stored in a production hall with space for over 100,000 tons of ice and 30,000 tons of snow. Some of the blocks of ice weigh 2 tons and require the use of cranes to put them in place. The ice and snow is stored until November, when the temperature drops low enough to allow construction to begin. Despite the name, ice hotels are actually made of ice and snow. Ice blocks and compacted snow are used to form the walls, fixtures, and fittings, and these are held together with a material known as snice. The word snice is a portmanteau of snow and ice, which makes sense as the substance is the physical intermediate between the two. In construction, it plays the role that mortar would in a building made of brick. The Icehotel is basically constructed as a series of vaults that comprise the corridors and rooms. The vaults utilize catenary arches, which are not only strong but also self-supporting. Because its structural integrity and very existence relies on sub-freezing temperatures, the Icehotel is only open between December and April. This is typical of ice hotels, which usually have a short season. The construction of the Icehotel is also more labor-intensive than that of conventional buildings because of the constraints imposed by the limited duration of sub-freezing temperatures throughout the year and the urgency this places on building. However, since the ice used to build the hotel is simply harvested from the river, the cost of materials is low. Each suite in the hotel is unique. The designs are the product of artists from all over the world. Each year, 50 applicants are selected by a jury to design each suite, plus the main hall, reception hall, bar, and chapel. The hotel is opened in phases in order to take maximum advantage of what relatively little time there is for business. The first phase is opened in early December, and a new phase is opened each week until the beginning of January. The Icehotel remains open until mid-April, when temperatures begin to warm up again. In addition to the Icehotel, the site features a permanent heated building called Riverside, built of conventional materials, which in addition to common areas also contains more typical hotel rooms for guests. After all, there's no way to heat a building made of ice without compromising its physical integrity, and sleeping in a giant ice box isn't exactly everyone's ideal of comfort. The Icehotel's website even recommends guests not to stay any more than 2 nights in the so-called ice rooms, whose indoor temperatures hover around -5 degrees Celsius, or about 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Though beautiful, the cold rooms aren't exactly what I'd call convenient. For one thing, indoor plumbing is impossible in such a building, and guests have to go to Riverside in order to bathe or use the restroom. Furthermore, the Icehotel contains no electrical outlets, so guests are recommended to charge their phones and cameras at Riverside before retiring to the ice rooms for the night. The ice rooms don't even have real doors, so for privacy, curtains are used instead. Because of this, the ice rooms can't be locked, so luggage must be stored at Riverside. However, some of these problems were seemingly solved in 2016 when Icehotel 365 was opened to the public as the world's first year-round ice hotel, hence the name. The 2,100 square foot building is basically a giant thermos bottle, a steel structure that contains the ice hotel within and keeps it cold enough to survive through the summer. The cooling system required to keep the building cold enough to remain standing is solar-powered, though the use of refrigerants brings the true degree of sustainability into question. Icehotel 365 boasts such luxuries as real doors that lock, as well as indoor plumbing. The cheapest room I could find costs $759 a night for one person, except for in June when the price shrank down to $325 for some reason. Strangely, the price did not go down in the winter, when the need to refrigerate the building would presumably be far less. The old-school, non-refrigerated ice hotel is still rebuilt every year and is open to guests. Despite the lack of any cooling system, and the energy bills that would come along with it, the rooms cost about the same as those at Icehotel 365. For the more pious among the hotel's guests, the Icehotel also contains a church. Part of the Church of Sweden, the Icehotel's church is rebuilt each year and officially consecrated every Christmas. It marries about 140 couples and baptizes about 40 children each year. The Icehotel is particularly famous for its bar, simply called Icebar. It was opened in 1994, soon after Absolute Vodka became the hotel's first sponsor. Drinks are served in glasses made of ice. Such libations are described as being served in the rocks. Eventually, Icebar became a franchise, and locations now exist in Copenhagen, Oslo, and Tokyo, though these locations presumably require artificial refrigeration. Hotels made of ice can now be found throughout the colder parts of the world, in such diverse locations as Canada, Finland, Japan, Switzerland, and Romania. The Icehotel in Jukkasjärvi was the first, however, and whether you find the idea of such an edifice frivolous or fun, there's no doubt that it has made its mark on the world, if not the colder, wealthier regions of it.